ජන පෞර.
Good afternoon and welcome back to your news on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Shehan Ranatunga. Now first up, here are your headlines.
3 people dead in tragic Vallavaya accident. Indian police say Angodaloka died of cardiac arrest. Multiple factions voice concern over the Antiterrorism Bill. Fried rice, rice and curry and kottu prices to drop. Donald Trump pleads not guilty to 34 felony charges in hush money case. New Zealand beat Sri Lanka in second T20 international level series.
Today marks the Buck Full Moon Poya Day. Lord Buddha, in the 5th year of his supreme enlightenment, returned to Sri Lanka on Poya Day.
According to the Mahavansa, the Buddha visited Nagadeepa as he wanted to put an end to the feud between 2 groups belonging to the Naga community and bring peace to the land. King Mahodara and his nephew Chulodara, both from the Naga tribe, were quarrelling over a gem-studded throne, Manipalanga, which had been given to Chulodara's mother by her father. Lord Buddha intervened as the rivals were about to meet in battle. He managed to settle the dispute and created unity through preaching the Dhamma sermons.
Buddhists across the country visited temples today and engaged in religious observances. The 27th Dhamma Sermon of the Sri Sadhamsata Dhamma Sermon program was held at the office of the opposition leader in Colombo in line with Poya Day. The Dhamma Sermon was conducted by Chief Incumbent of the Kolonnava Rajamaha Viharaya, Venerable Kolonnave Dhammika Thero.
Tiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Meanwhile, a Buddha Puja was held at the Shakya Malake opposite the Capital Maharaja Group head office this morning. The puja was organized by the staff of PE Plus, a subsidiary of the Capital Maharaja Group.
ලෝතුරා බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ අනන්ත ගුණ උදෙසා ආහාර පාන ආදිය දවල් දානයක් වශයෙන් පූජා කරමි පූජා වේවා.
On this Poya Day, we bring you the story of an ancient temple from Badulla that had been neglected for years.
This is the ancient Budungekanda temple in Badulla. It falls under the purview of the Suranathur Divisional Secretariat. Chief Incumbent of the Budungekanda, Balagambalen Rajamaha Viharaya, Venerable Meegahavela Nandaratana Thero says the ancient paintings of the temple should be restored as they are being destroyed. This temple is one of the only 2 places in Sri Lanka where charcoal paintings can be found dating back to centuries. However, they are gradually fading away due to lack of preservation. Despite the minor renovations that were carried out at the location in the past, Venerable Meegahavela Nandaratana Thero says that it is not sufficient to protect the paintings.
A lot of paintings are fading away. The charcoal paintings are fading. They need to be preserved. Last year, upon our request, the Archaeological Department restored a part of these paintings. But with that pace of renovation, these paintings won't be preserved even after 15 to 20 years. When we inquired from the Director General of the department, she said renovations can be done as per the fundings the department gets. If any Sri Lankan can contribute in protecting these paintings, it would be commendable.
Now, 4 people died in tragic motor accidents over the past 24 hours. As this is the holiday season, it is important to exercise extreme caution when travelling, and we make this appeal for your own safety and for the safety of your loved ones.
3 people from the same family died in a tragic motor accident in the Nugayaya area along the Valdavaya Thanamalvila road. Sri Lanka police said that the accident was a result of a head-on collision between a 3-wheeler and a pickup truck. The deceased were identified as a 44-year-old police sergeant attached to the Thanamalvila police, his 42-year-old wife and his 70-year-old father. Sri Lanka police said that they were travelling in a 3-wheeler at the time and another child was rushed to the Monaragala district hospital for treatment. Police said that the driver of the pickup truck was driving under the influence of alcohol, and it was revealed that he did not possess a driver's license as well. The driver of the pickup truck was arrested and the Valdavaya police is conducting an investigation. A 22-year-old woman died in a motor accident that took place in Kajugama along the Colombo Kandy Road. It was reported that she had gone to witness the Uduwaka Falls in Varakapola with a relative and was returning home with a relative on a motorcycle. During their journey, they had stopped at a roadside shop, and it was during that moment that a speeding bus crashed onto them. It was reported the driver of the bus had lost control of the wheel and it led to the tragic accident. The bus driver was arrested and the deceased was identified as a resident of Jaila.
Sri Lankan gangster Madduma Lasantha Chandana Pereira alias Angoda Lokka, who was found dead in 2020, died due to cardiac arrest. The crime branch CID stated in its final report submitted to the Chief Judicial Magistrates Court recently.
With this, the agency closed its investigation into one of the 2 cases regarding his death. Lokka was found dead in a rented house at Balaji Nagar near Cheranma Nagar on the 3rd of July 2020. He was living in the city under the assumed identity of Pradeep Singh for around 2 years. A Sri Lankan woman, Amani Thanji, who was staying with him, took Lokka to a private hospital where doctors declared him dead. She then shifted the body to the Coimbatore Medical College Hospital for post-mortem. Along with a Madurai-based advocate, D. Siva Kamasundari, and her friend, S. Dayaneswaran, of Virod, she took Lokka's body to Madurai and cremated it on the 5th of July 2020. The actual identity of the deceased came to light after the police found an Aadhaar card in the name of Pradeep Singh, a copy of which Sivakama Sundari had produced at the police station had been obtained using forged documents. Police arrested Thanji, Sivakama Sundari and Dayaneswaran on the 2nd of August 2020 and the CBCID later took over the investigation. Soon after his death, the CBCID confirmed the cause of his death through a toxicology report but continued the probe to establish his identity scientifically.
Now, in other news, multiple factions allege that the government is attempting to create a far more serious situation in the country with the introduction of the Antiterrorism Bill. The Federation of University Teachers Associations commented on the matter.
ලංකාවේ ආර්ථික අර්බුදයට විසඳුමක් වශයෙන් රජය ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තිබෙන ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය අරමුදලේ සහයෝගයෙන් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන මේ ආර්ථික වැඩපිළිවෙලෙන්
What is the government trying to do with its economic program with the support of the IMF to recover from the crisis? They are placing that entire burden on the poor and the vulnerable, working class and the middle class. That will lead to a serious social issue in the country. The ruling elite are aware that this will lead to a social issue. They are now preparing for that. One measure is the introduction of this bill. The rulers are preparing to witness the mass protests, demonstrations. They want to prevent it, and one undemocratic measure adopted by the government is to further strengthen their suppressive measures, and the people are to be termed as terrorists.
හැකියාව මර්ධන නීති රීති තවත් දුරට ශක්තිමත් කිරීම. මෙම මර්ධන නීතිය විසින් නිර්මාණය කරනු ලබන ත්‍රස්තවාදීන් කවුද? මේ රටේ පුරවැසියෝ.
The People's Movement for Protection of Democratic Rights noted that intellectuals from all fields must unite against the Antiterrorism Bill.
අපි කියනවා මේක 1978 අංක 48 දරන ත්‍රස්තවාදයේ වැළැක්වීමේ පනතටත් එහා ගියපු.
This bill is far worse than the Prevention of Terrorism Act. This is a bill moved for Ranil Wickremesinghe to secure his power and for the forces in parliament that are against the country to secure their power. This is to be placed before the country at a time when trade agreements that are detrimental to the country are to be inked. This bill is being moved to suppress the people if they voice against those agreements.
ඒ ජනතාව මර්ධනය කරන්න තමයි මේ ත්‍රස්තවාදයේ වැළැක්වීමේ පනත ගේන්නේ.
On the 20th of May 2021, the Singapore-flagged container ship Express Pearl caught fire while at the Colombo anchorage, Sri Lanka. Now, the Centre for Environmental Justice said that Sri Lanka has failed to follow any legal measure to secure compensation for the destruction caused.
අපේ රට සාගර කලාපයක නාවික ගමනාගමන
Our country is situated in the middle of a shipping route. Tomorrow, an incident of a similar nature could take place. The Parliament has not renewed this act to face such an incident again. But they are rushing to introduce acts to suppress peaceful protests and silence the media. They are working to pass them within weeks. This incident took place under our legal purview. When we go to courts in Singapore, we have to spend a lot of money. Therefore, we need to get the help of foreign legal teams. If by any chance the legal proceedings go unfavorably, we have to incur that cost as well, aside from the damage caused by the Express Pearl ship.
අසාර්ථක වුණොත් එහෙම ඒකේ වියදමත් ඒකේ පාඩුවත් තවදුරටත් මේ අලාභයට අමතරව අපිට දරන්න වෙනවා මේ Express Pearl නැවින් සිදුවෙච්ච අලාභයට අමතරව.
2023 මැයි මාසේ 19ට කලින් මේ පිළිබඳව අධිකරණමය ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයක් නොගතහොත් අපිට
If a legal measure is not taken before the 19th of May 2023, we will lose the opportunity to obtain compensation under Sri Lankan law. Only 45 days are remaining for that. We are not playing with a small amount. The second compensation payment is $6.4 billion. It is more than twice the amount we are getting from the IMF. This is a decision that must be made carefully. If we lose out on this case, it will be a massive loss to Sri Lanka.
තීරණයක් බැරි වෙලාවත් සිංගප්පූරුවේ මේ නඩුව ගොනු කිරීම හරහා අපට මේ කාලය තුල මෙවැනි නඩුකරයක් ගෙනියන්න බැරි වුණොත් හෝ ගොනු කිරීම නිසා අප අපහසුතාවටපත් වුණොත් ඒක ලංකාවට සිද්ධ වෙන විශාල හානියක්.
Now, the Ceylon Restaurant Owners Association has decided to reduce the price of fried rice, kottu and rice and curry.
With the price of LP gas reducing, we will give that benefit to the consumer by reducing the price of fried rice, kottu and rice and curry by 20%. The price of a 500 rupee kottu will be reduced by 100 rupees. The price of a 500 rupee rice pack will be reduced by 100 rupees. The price of a plain tea will be reduced by 10 rupees. The price of a plain tea will be 30 rupees. The price of milk tea will be 90 rupees. This benefit must be given to the consumer. The chairman of the association, Asela Sampath, says that this decision was taken with the reduction of gas prices in the market from midnight yesterday. The association stated that until every bakery gets eggs at a price of 35 rupees, it is not possible to reduce the price of the products.
The 1990 Suvasaria Foundation has obtained assistance of the private sector in carrying out its services.
The
1990 Suvasaria Foundation made a request from private companies in funding its services. We are getting the fullest support from the government, but given the economic situation in the country, the government can only give a limited amount of funds. As a result, we made a request from the private companies in the country. We requested 5 million rupees per ambulance. Once we collect this money, we will be able to carry out our services without any issue.
The Department of Examinations says the period given to the examiners to send applications for the evaluation of A-level answer sheets through the online system will end on the 18th of this month.
The Department of Examination in a statement said it had been decided to pay an allowance of 2,000 rupees to the examiners. The department said that necessary steps will be taken to pay a combined allowance of 2,900 rupees daily to examinees who commute more than 80 kilometers and from the evaluation centers and do not have residential facilities in the evaluation center or nearby. Minister of Education Susil Premajanda says that he believes university lecturers will join in the evaluation of A-level answer sheets in the future.
Usually we start the practical exams after evaluating answer sheets. Therefore it takes more time, but now we have that period. Practical exams have begun. We will be able to recover the period we lost. We informed the chairman of PUTA, Shyama Bandahaka, in a letter of the steps we have taken. Yesterday, cabinet approval was granted for some of their points. Therefore, I believe they will start this process by tomorrow or the day after.
Now in news overseas, the indictment against former US President Donald Trump was unsealed in a New York City court on Tuesday, revealing 34 felony counts against the former Republican leader.
The 13-page document contained the latest revelations in a hush money probe led by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and it cements Trump's status as the first US president in history to face criminal charges. Throughout the day, all eyes were on Trump as he navigated protesters on the stoop of East Trump Tower skyscraper to get to the courthouse and be processed into the criminal justice system. Little after, the former president left his penthouse residence at Trump Tower to head to Lower Manhattan for his court date. He waved to supporters as he made his commute, arriving at the Manhattan Criminal Court shortly thereafter. There was no prep talk, no handcuffs, and no mugshot. Donald Trump delivered a 25-minute speech after his New York arrest, where he listed long-held grievances and complaints about the several investigations he's facing before briefly addressing the indictment. Trump repeated falsehood about the nature of the accusations he's facing and personally attacked the prosecutors and investigators leading the cases.
And I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Never thought it could happen. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. With a local failed district attorney charging a former president of the United States for the first time in history on a basis that every single pundit and legal analyst said, there is no case. There's no case. They kept saying, there's no case. Virtually everyone. But it's far worse than that, because he knew there was no case. That's why last week he delayed for a month and then immediately took that back and threw this ridiculous indictment together. Came out today, everybody said, this is not really an indictment, there's nothing here. My lawyers came to me and they said, there's nothing here, they're not even saying what you did.
Now in cricket news, New Zealand demolished Sri Lanka with a 9-wicket victory in the second T20 International to level the series today. It was a brutal defeat for Sri Lanka, who had made a good start. Kusal Pereira and Dhananjaya De Silva put on a middle-order partnership of 62 of 46 to steer the visitors to 99 for 4 after 12. The tourists then collapsed by losing their next 6 wickets for just 42 as New Zealand seamers found their length to devastating effect. Charit Asalanka was the last Sri Lankan batsman to offer any resistance, chalking up 24 of 19. Milne did the most damage for New Zealand, picking off Sri Lanka's tail-enders Dilshan Madhushankar and Pramod Madhushan without a run being scored. His impressive bowling display left New Zealand with a target of 142 to win. Opener Chad Bowes was caught after hitting 31 of 15 before opener Tim Seifert peppered the boundary in a partnership of 106 alongside Latham, who finished 20 not out. Sri Lanka have lost both the Test and ODI series 2-0 during their month-long tour of New Zealand.
Slice and dice, that's a reprieve, and Seifert. Call us through here. They'll get back. And a rim up the tyres. Oh, this is Don Miles. This is out of the ground. Absolute miles.
And that's it from the news for now. Thank you for watching.